Hello, hello, hello. Three topics for today is going to be the No Kings protest or protests. Which is one? Oh yeah, redistricting them. I don't like the entire argument. And BLTs. It's gonna be a 10-minute one today, so probably 2 minute per topic. But first, stopped drinking about 3 weeks ago, and wow. No, I did have a drink last Saturday. So okay, yeah. But I feel like my whole hormonal profile is just so different right now. Like it's definitely a change. I feel more energized. In every sense of that word. Read into that how you will. So I'm gonna see how long this goes. What I'm doing is this is bad. Whenever people drink beer, I'm getting soda. I went to my parents' today, and so I had BLTs. Talk about that later. And so instead of having a drink, I had a half a Coke. So not not the drug, the soft, of course. Um, so yeah, I'm happy with the change, but we'll see if I keep up. So the topic's no kings. Okay, so I don't get why it's called no kings. Like you can say a lot of things about Trump, but he's not a king. He doesn't have a king lineage. He has made no claims at any point saying that he intends to have his genetic progeny carry on presidents. There's no indication of that. He's never getting full power. I mean, you know what a king is, right? A king is somebody who has basically created his military power over a region through military power. Like that's where the kings came from. They were warlords who managed to pass on power through blood or something that seems like that. There's nothing what Trump says is being a king. The fascist, calling him a fascist dictator was that doesn't make any sense either. So what are you gonna do? Call him king? And especially when you're calling him king, these protests started with Elon Musk and Trump. So were you thinking that there were gonna be two kings, a gay kingship that passes on their genes through IVF? And actually, that sounds kind of always sci-fi and cool. Elon Musk would probably be into that. Not gonna lie, I don't think Trump's into that. So what are you trying to do? Say that he's overusing executive power? You call him, you can attack him as being authoritarian. But the whole king thing, like, do you realize how little power kings have had throughout history? Like, you realize that they were pretty much, except for the French monarchy, at the whims of the aristocracy for most of their existence. They're not a powerful institution, at least not when they started. Most of them started off being very, very weak, and then they got stronger over time. That's, and I think everybody sees how stupid this is. Like, I don't think it affects politics negatively for Democrats. Next, more on that in the next topic. But it just seems dumb. Um, it just seems very, very dumb and boomer and geriatric. It just seems like weak, almost intentionally so, mind you. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the people were funding these protests in order to make the real protests seem more viable when they come back. I can see that being the case, and that's going to happen after the economy collapses from the end of the AI bubble, which is going to happen sometime in the next few years. Not sure when. And what's really weird is that I might actually increase hiring. If AI ends up being a bubble, we might actually increase hiring from a depression, which is weird. Anyway, next topic. So no kings. Oh, the redistricting thing. So the redistricting fight just keeps going on, and I hear a bunch of conservatives talk about, oh yeah, Republicans are gonna do really well in the midterms because of redistricting. I don't want to win by redistricting. I don't want to lose by redistricting. I don't want to have a court battle or a legal trick determine who wins in a democracy. Now, I say this given the fact that, yes, oftentimes this is how a democracy is governed, and this isn't exactly a change. I'm not exactly happy about it. Like, We originally were a spread out country with everybody spread out among farms and stuff. You had a few cities, and the percentage of people in cities has been steadily increasing over the past 100 years or so. So this didn't used to be a problem. You didn't used to have pockets of people with so many more um, different demographics than the rest of the population. That didn't used to be a thing. So it is kind of a new problem, and there's a problem the Constitution did not think about it at this time. It just didn't. So I don't think there's any appetite for a constitutional amendment dictating congressional rules for what the districts have to look like. But I think there should be. This is obviously arguing about, oh, I'm going to take away the other side's seats with a parliamentary process or by just redrawing the lines. That doesn't strike me as how a democracy is supposed to function. It just doesn't. Now, it is true it's going to benefit my side greatly over the next, probably next year. It might keep the House Republican. Might. I'm not sure if it will or not. But there's got to be a better way of doing this than what they're talking about. Like, should they do like ranked choice voting, where people can vote for like 10 representatives in a given state, or however many representatives their state has? So if you're in Maryland, you have a vote for 12 representatives, and the Democrat vote to be split, and the Republicans could all agree to vote on like one person or two people. Maybe that's an option. But it is nice to have somebody from a local district representing that district. We don't have that now, but it would be nice. Like my parents work out in the country, and basically they're represented by somebody in downtown Baltimore, which doesn't make a lick of sense. They'd be much better represented by somebody in Frederick. So obviously things aren't working as we'd want them to. I don't think there should be a group. There should be representatives specifically delineated to represent a particular minority group. That's definitely like racist, very obviously so. So I don't know what the answer is. I think the ranked choice, where you get how many votes you get is how many representatives there are, might be an option. I think maybe just dictating that all districts have to be cubes, have to be squares, or as close to squares as possible. There are some funnier ways you can make a decision on redistricting. I just know that I don't like the whole argument that we're going to win by this cool trick. You should win by persuasion. You should win by making arguments. You should win through free discussion of ideas, policy positions, representing what people actually want. Something like that. The redrawing of districts, it should be done at the state level, because if it was national, it would definitely create conflict. But there's got to be some rules introduced for how redistricting happens. This whole free fall thing is just kind of sad, in my opinion. Final topic: BLTs. I did not go to church today, but I did go to my parents. I just had a BLT. It's amazing how good of a meal you can make just with like a few bucks, you know. So I had white bread, of course, because that works better for a BLT. Dietary restrictions be damned. Fresh tomato from the garden. Garden's still producing some tomatoes. So a slice of tomatoes and lettuce from the store, obviously. Bacon, cooked just the way you like it, not too crispy, not too fatty, just right. You just sit on the back porch, you see the trees and everything, you see the woods behind the house, and as you sit on the deck at the sun, and it's just the right temperature outside. It was really, really nice. Had half a Coke, talked about life, politics, the universe, and everything. I'm really gonna miss my parents when they take the next step. That's something I'm really gonna miss. But for now, I can still enjoy getting a BLT with them, and that's something that I am very blessed to be able to have. And the only thing I wish is that I wish I could have somebody around I could share that with, is again my older years. And I think that's what a lot of the yeah, people want girlfriends or boyfriends or whatever, but I think what people really want is that they just want someone to be around to share the things they used to share with their parents. Okay, that could be come across really weird, but you know what I mean. Like getting BLTs or having a soda, sharing a drink. Yeah. And that's what's been taken away by the change of culture. Was it really worth it? Was the sexual liberation thing really worth it? No, it obviously wasn't. Not for most. I've met some Chads. It's not worth it for them too. They hate it. Well, not as much, but they don't like it either. Nobody likes it. Like we have this honor rules for thousands of years, and they got rid of them for nothing. You thought that would work out? Well, you were wrong. Anyway, good vamping of that. Get a BLT. Enjoy simple luxuries. All right. Cheers.